Hi guys, it's Miss Donehoo again. I should have met most of you already in the live instruction portion of class. But for those of you that I have not met yet, welcome to 9th grade literature. This video is going to tell you a little bit about me. Also, it's really important to pay attention because there is going to be a quiz attached. And while the quiz is super easy, I am going to go over all the answers in this, so make sure that you watch the whole video because at the end of the video, I'm actually going to tell you how to access the quiz. For those of you that are having trouble finding it, you should have all your answers. So, first and foremost, we already did this morning, but for those, again, that weren't in our live session, I am Miss Donehoo. It is pronounced Donehoo, like you're asking a question. The reason I bring that up is because actually the first day of 9th grade for me was my birthday. So my birthday is August 14th, and at my school, they would congratulate people and say happy birthday over the intercom every morning during morning announcements. So my very first day of high school, I'm a freshman, I'm in 9th grade, and I get to school, and on the morning announcements, they wished a happy birthday to Miss Donehoo. So super embarrassing, and I always tell students that it's Donehoo, like you're asking a question, to avoid that. A little bit about me I want to go into. First of all, you are now a Banneker Trojan. I have been a Banneker Trojan this is my third year. So I've taught 2 years, and this will be my third. I teach 9th grade literature as well as reading and writing, although this year I only have one reading and writing class, and most of you will take me for 9th grade literature. Those of you that have me for reading and writing actually probably have me for 9th grade literature as well. So you get to see me twice. I love my job, wouldn't trade anything about it. A lot of people ask me my favorite part of teaching, and I think that the answer is definitely 100% my students, you guys now included. I have tons of pictures I'm trying to share throughout this video, and as soon as we go back from virtual, I'll of course have pictures with you guys as well. So a little bit more about me. I've lived in Atlanta my whole life, other than when I went to college, but I've lived in Georgia my whole life because I went to college at Georgia Southern University, which is in Statesboro, Georgia, which is about 20 minutes from Savannah and not too far from the beach. So those of you that have been to Savannah, you probably passed Georgia Southern University. I played Division I college soccer for 4 years there. I had a full scholarship to play soccer, and then I graduated and decided to stay for 2 more years to get my master's in English. So I actually have a bachelor's degree in English and a master's degree. And my focus is on American literature and more specifically short stories. So while I love reading books and novels, my favorite literature are short stories. We're going to read a ton of short stories in here. Sometimes I'll read to you. Sometimes you'll read on your own. I've got some really great stories I think you're going to like. My students the past couple years have loved some of these stories. Last year, my students even did a film project where they had to pick a short story and then make a movie out of it, and they're really awesome. I'm going to share some of those videos with you because they're pretty great. A little bit about my family. Here's some photos of my family. I do have a little brother who also, like me, plays soccer in college. He is 20, and he goes to college in Tennessee. He's about to be a junior in college. He also has a soccer scholarship. You can see some of those photos. So there's a little bit about my family. This is my favorite slide, and also probably the majority of your quiz questions will come from this slide. So here's some really important things to know about my favorite things. Where to begin? First of all, something that you have to know about me, and you might be able to tell by the flag and behind me in my classroom, is I'm a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. Like I said, I was born and raised in Atlanta, and I love the Falcons. Julio Jones is the best player in the league. If you're a Saints fan, you can go ahead and drop my class. You don't even need to take it because we're not going to get along. But really rise up. So I've got some Falcon stuff, as you can see. I love to read. Obviously, I'm an English teacher, so reading is one of my favorite things, as well as writing. Something really important, and also that will show up on your quiz. My favorite author his name is Ernest Hemingway, so here's a photo of him, and then here is his signature. I actually spent a lot of my college years studying him. I wrote my master's thesis about him. I've presented on him in Paris and Boston and San Francisco. I've seen his archives. I've seen all of his drafts of papers, his photographs. Really, really cool. And we'll actually read a Hemingway very short story next week as one of our first assignments. And you guys, I think, will love some of his stories that we'll go over. He also wrote my favorite book, which is down here in the corner, called A Farewell to Arms. A couple other things to point out. My favorite candy, if you ever want to know what candy to get me for my birthday or for anything, my favorite candy is Swedish Fish and peanut butter M&Ms. I actually just had Swedish Fish in my lunch box today. My leftover Swedish Fish. They're my favorite. Peanut butter M's are also my fave. My favorite food is tacos, any kind of Mexican food, chips and salsa, guacamole. My favorite chips, also on the quiz, purple Doritos. They're the best. They're best Dorito, best chip. If you bring them to me, you'll be my favorite student. You'll always see me with a Diet Coke on my desk. All my students make fun of me at lunchtime every day. I pull out my Diet Coke. I love a Diet Coke. Netflix. I love watching Netflix. I watched way too much Netflix over quarantine. I had a lot of my students suggest good shows, so I'm caught up on a lot of like All American, On My Block, a bunch of those. I love to travel. There's the Eiffel Tower. There's the New York City skyline. Like I already said, I played soccer, so I put a soccer ball in here. LeBron James is my favorite athlete of all time. Even though people say I'm a bandwagon fan, whatever team LeBron is on is whatever team I'm cheering for. My favorite soccer team in the world is Liverpool, which is that middle little symbol. And they actually just won the Premier League in England, and last year they won the Champions League. So really big deal. And again, these are just a few of my favorite things. You guys will have to make a slide about your favorite things, and I want to know as much as possible. So make sure to include all of these kinds of details on your slide as well. All right, moving on. Next thing to know, really important, and actually some of you have already done this, but I do have a class Instagram page. You can follow me on Instagram at bhs.donehoo. And not only do I post pictures like those that you see up on the screen right now, I'll do shout outs for student performances. I actually will go live to do announcements. I post a lot of information, and especially with virtual learning, while everything's kind of hard and you don't know exactly where to go all the time, you can always be checking my Instagram. I use it kind of like Remind to just post updates. Another thing you'll see a lot of on my Instagram is selfies with students. Or just selfies of students taking my phone. That happens a lot as well. But one thing that my students, if you ask them, they would all tell you I'm corny. And I actually have a video that you guys are going to watch later this week where a bunch of my former students got together and are giving you guys some advice about 9th grade, about this class, about how to be successful. So you'll hear from them later this week. So I've talked a lot about me, but I do want to talk a little bit about 9th grade literature and reading and writing, which are the classes that I teach. And really the most important thing that I can tell you about 9th grade literature that you might not know is that it is a Georgia milestone class. So 9th grade literature is one of the 8 classes you take in high school that you are tested on, which means in the spring you will have a test, a Georgia milestone, over 9th grade literature. Now with coronavirus and virtual school, I'm not sure if that will happen this year, but we're going to prepare as though it is going to happen. So I want to talk a little bit about how my class works and my teaching style, and then I'm going to show you guys how to access your quiz. So first and foremost, I think the most important part of my class and what makes my students do so well on the Georgia milestones and what makes them get such great grades in my class is that it's a really, really good balance of focus and fun. So I am all for having fun. I'm all for activities and reading fun stories and getting up and getting out, going outside, playing games, doing all this. But we can only do that if there's a certain amount of focus and hard work that is paired with it. So here I kind of put some pictures of students engaged in really hard focused work, which happens all the time in here. Some of the literature that we've read over the past couple years in my class, some of these you may have seen before. The Hate You Give, my students we've read that, we've watched the movie, we've done a social justice project with it, really fun. Some of you, if you're coming from McNair, I believe, maybe Woodland as well, have read Monster. If you watch Netflix as much as I do, you've probably seen the movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before, or even the second one is actually out now. I have that, something that we might read, just depending. If you take me for reading and writing, we're going to read The Hunger Games, for those of you who have read it or seen the movie. And then The Blind Side is also a movie you may have seen or read the book. So these are just some of the things that you'll see in my class. Some of the reading materials. In terms of fun, I played, as you guys know, I played sports in college, so I'm very competitive. I love to play games. We'll do games. We'll go outside. We'll have rewards. I like having, snacks, cupcakes, whatever, class competitions, all sorts of stuff. I like playing games, getting up out of this the desk and the learning. So again, if we can focus and get our work done, we're also going to have a lot of fun. My number one thing about teaching is collaboration. I just think that students learn best, not only from me, but from when they work together with each other, because you guys are really smart and you're going to be able to teach each other a lot of things. And sometimes the best teacher is yourself, and being able to show another student how to do something, you learn how to do it. So that's just a little bit. I just wanted to make this video pretty quick, but I do want to touch really quickly on the setup for how this is going to work. You guys have already met with me today live on Teams. All right, so the next thing is this instructional video. This is how it'll work every day. We'll meet live, and then I'll give you a video. This is today's video, and it's going to kind of go over what your work will be today. All right, and then I'll give you that work period, and then you have to submit that work by the end of class. So right now we're in the instructional video portion, which is that 10 to 15 minutes, but actually I'm about to send you into your work period. I'm just going to explain how to get to your quiz about me. So here is how you would get to your quiz. You would first of all go to ClassLink. Those of you that do not know how to get into ClassLink, you can literally type in launchpad.classlink.com. All right, once you get there, your username is going to be your student ID, which is also your lunch number, and then your password is your birthday with no spaces. Make sure if your birthday, say, is in August, you don't just put 8, you put 08. And then if your birthday is in 2004, you don't put 04, you put 2004. That sometimes messes people up. To find the quiz, once you're in ClassLink, you're going to go to Microsoft Office. Here you see Microsoft Office. All right. You're going to click Teams. All right. You can also search up in the search bar for Teams and find it pretty easily as well. Once you are in Teams, you're going to see a screen that looks kind of like this. It's going to have all your classes. So it's going to have your science and your math. All of your classes, you're going to find my class, Miss Donehoo's literature class. All right. Once you find that class, you're going to click on it. You're going to see this feed. Where it says assignments, you are going to find your quiz. You can also find the quiz over on the side. In the left bar, it says assignments. When you get to it, you're going to click your quiz and begin. Like I said, it's super easy. If you watch this video, you're going to get a 100. If you have any questions, you can reach out. Actually, a couple questions are really for you, for me to get to know you a little bit better. So with that being said, good luck on your first quiz and your first assignment. If you get caught up on something, email me, message me on Teams. You have my class Instagram account. You can DM me, or you can reach out on Remind. So good luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye.